Hello everyone, and welcome to my garage. Why are we here, you may ask? Because, well, I saw something online that I really want to do to my guitar. See, the problem with a lot of electric guitars, specifically the ones that use single coil pickups, however, humbuckers are equally guilty of this, maybe a little bit less so, but RF interference. Most people would know that as the hum that you get when you turn the tone pots up on your guitar, when you like when you want a solo or something like that, and you get that really annoying sound. Well, that's usually because of interference caused by, RF interference stands for radio frequency interference, and this is caused by, yes, radios, but also things like fluorescent lights and computers and cell phones and everything. So I saw a hack online that I'm going to do to my guitar, where you can put shielding on the inside of the guitar. You basically create a Faraday cage out of nothing more than some adhesive and aluminum foil. I also have 100 grit sandpaper because there's something else I want to do to my guitar to make it play a little bit smoother, but that's for later. Now, knowing me, I'm going to screw this up somehow, but I thought maybe it might make a fun video to do, so let's go step by step through the whole process. Firstly, as you can see, I've taken the pick guard off of the guitar and I've unscrewed all the electronics. I haven't actually, they're all still intact, they're just out of the casing. And also, one thing that I never knew about my Telecaster here is that it doesn't have an open body. It's all closed compartments. Normally there would be a big space right here and another space leading here to here, so that you could easily get to the electronics. You would never worry about pulling anything out of place. But this is a Squier guitar, so that, I don't know, kind of makes sense to me, I guess. And the ground connect wire, for some reason, is like that. I mean, I guess it works well enough. This is definitely a very functional guitar. I do love this guitar, which is why I want to improve it even more. But, with all that being said, the first step that we need to do is we need to take the pick guard and we need to create a layer of aluminum stuck onto it. And this is going to make sense in a little bit, so let's do that. Okay, that was way more of a pain in the ass than it had any right to be, but as you can see, I have created the first piece that we need. Now, the next step, firstly, save the spare aluminum foil because we're going to be using that. And the next step is to take your spray adhesive and apparently put a very thin coat, the emphasis is on thin, just enough to stick it to the back of the pick guard. So let's see, where are the directions here? Test surfaces prior to use. Well, considering that I only have one of these, can't really do that. Shake before using, hold 6 to 8 inches away from the surface to be sprayed. Keep the can moving while spraying in order to get an even film of adhesive on the surface. Make the bond while the adhesive is aggressively tacky. What the hell does that mean? Okay, so I guess I have to spray that and wait. So I guess I'll do that. So let's get this away from the pick guard. The reason why I'm doing it over here is because I don't mind if some of this stuff gets covered in spray adhesive. This bike doesn't work anymore. Alright, let's do it here. I really should have brought a tripod. Okay, so while that is over there drying, the next step is, in the meantime, the next step is to get each of the individual cavities in the guitar, and we need to create pieces of aluminum foil that fit down inside of there. Now, this is going to be kind of tricky because normally this would be a lot easier if the guitar actually had an open body to work with, but this one does not, so, man. And the thing about this, I didn't explain this very well earlier, but what we're trying to do is, we're trying to create one large grounded cage of aluminum foil in the entirety of the guitar, meaning the back of the pick guard and the inside of the cavities have to come up to connect to the body and then connect to the pick guard, which will connect to this bridge ground connect wire, which connects to the bridge, thus effectively grounding and shielding the whole system. Now the reason why we want to do this is because, specifically with aluminum foil, is because aluminum foil is conductive to electricity, but it is not magnetic, meaning that it won't mess with the pickups, which are magnets, but it will absorb RF interference. And the whole reason why RF interference is such a problem with guitars is because the signal is sent through the pickups into the jack into the amplifier, which then turns it into an audible frequency that humans can hear. What is on my hand? Yeah, because normally RF frequencies are beyond the range of human hearing, but through guitars and through amplifiers we can hear them, which is why they're so annoying. So I'm going to do this now. Alright, so another problem that I didn't really elaborate on, but is also going to be just way more of a pain in the ass than it has any right to be, is this particular pickup right here. That one's going to be hard to do as well because of all those wires, but that can be circumvented. That's not as much of a problem. This one, however, as you can see, it has these screws that connect all the way down into the cavity of the pickup. Now that's a problem because I forget just what kinds of pickups do this, but supposedly if the ground connection is touching these screws on this pickup, sometimes the pickup routes the signal through the screw and it just stops the pickup from working. So I need to make sure that I don't do that. And the other problem with this is that this one, that's as far as it comes out. I can't take it out of there any farther than that lest I rip it out of its soldering, and that's a whole nother can of worms. And that would just be, horrible, because, as I said, it's not an open body, so I can't fix that so easily. I already did the bridge cavity. That's the specific piece of aluminum foil I have for that one. And, yep, it's coming along. Alright, so it's been a good 20 or 30 minutes. I got the underside of the pick guard all coated in the foil and everything. There's some extra along the edges, as you can see, and I need to trim that off because that's important. But yeah, seems to have worked relatively nicely, and it's kind of dirty, but that doesn't really matter, I guess. I don't know. Now, here's the tricky part. We need to do the same thing to all of these little pieces here. Very, very carefully. This is not an easy thing to do. It requires a lot of patience and a very steady hand, which is why I have these needle nose pliers here, so I can just hold them gently and with one hand and get the spray adhesive with another hand. Am I probably going to get some on my hands? Yes, but that is what soap and water is for, and hopefully at the end it'll all be worth it. But yeah, I guess we will see. Now, the whole reason why I'm doing this is because I saw a video on a YouTube channel called Guns and Guitars, and I've been watching it for quite a long time. And this dude, oh my god, he has the most amazing, like, low-budget solutions to all guitar problems I've ever seen. And he makes really high-end boutique guitars out of cheap kits you can buy on eBay. He made this, like, amazing Rickenbacker-style bass. And normally I would be kind of a skeptic and I wouldn't trust anybody's word on what to do with all this. I would just take it to a professional and get it done. But number one, I've always really wanted to learn about this stuff, and number two, I trust his word like it is the Bible. So hopefully this all works out. I think I might be, I don't know. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then I guess I'll have to fix it somehow. And I guess we'll see when we get there. So next step is to get all of those pieces sticky-ized and then put them in this. Also, got to trim off the extra from the pick guard, but that's going to be pretty easy, so I will be right back. Alright. Here we go. Hold your breath. Now, it could technically be possible that the layer of spray adhesive that I used might be too thick to maintain contingency between the different pieces. Like these two pieces here are for the neck pickup. This one is actually going to be down in the cavity, and then this one connects it up to the body, to the pick guard. And if the amount of adhesive that I used is too much, then the metal won't touch the metal, etc., ad nauseum. It's going to be bad. As you can see, I have finished cleaning up the pick guard. Did I do a very pretty job? No. No. In that endeavor, I failed miserably. At least in most areas. Here, I did it pretty cleanly, but the rest of it, not really. But does that matter? Also no. So I gotta wait for those to become sticky, because I tested the adhesive on one of these pieces of aluminum foil. It's weird. It becomes stickier the longer you let it sit. And for this right here, I just needed it to reach like a decent stickiness, and it's all sitting on there. It works fine. These pieces I gotta wait for a little bit. So you might be wondering, well, what's the sandpaper for? This all seems like it's just in the body and it's about gluing down pieces of aluminum foil. Well, yes, that's true. The sandpaper is for the neck of the guitar. There are two problems that I have with this neck. I mean, the fret edges are a little bit jaggedy, not as bad as the bass, which I might just repeat this whole process on my bass if it goes well. But yeah, the edges need a little sanding down, and then on the back of the neck, I don't know why, but a lot of places, a lot of guitars specifically, especially guitars with painted necks, they have this this glossy polyurethane on it, and it's normally fine, but if your hands are like clammy or sweaty, you will stick to it and it's very hard to play. So another tip that I found online, if you take some 100 grit sandpaper to the back of your guitar neck, it gets rid of most of the glossy weird stuff on the back. Not all of it. It's important to leave at least some of it. But the thing about the sandpaper is that it makes it decently uneven so it doesn't stick to your skin so much. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, I guess. I'm very scared of messing up this guitar because this is my second favorite guitar that I own. But that's the whole reason why I want to improve it, is because it's the one that I play most often, so to make it better, to make it sound better, to make it more playable, yeah, of course I'm going to do that. So I will see you guys when those pieces of foil over there are nice and ready to use, because this is going to be, oh boy, I haven't played Operation since I was a kid, but that's what this feels like. Okay, so I rewatched the tutorial I was following on my phone here, and I missed an important step. Now, as you can see, I have succeeded in putting down the first piece of foil in each of the cavities of the body. So that's good. But the one thing that I missed, and really this should have been common sense to me, I don't know what I was thinking, is the fact that I also have to line the sides of the cavities. So of course, I cut out some more strips of the foil and I sprayed it with the adhesive, and now I play the waiting game, but at least I have some music to keep me company. And then of course there's the two connector pieces that I haven't laid into the body yet. And the pick guard is just sitting here, lonely. When's it gonna be my turn? Soon. Soon. Actually, something I could do. I am vaguely upset about this. I just wanted some 100 grit sandpaper just for the neck. I just needed like a rectangle, not this times like 6, because that's a piece, and then there's like 3 underneath here. What is this, like a 5 count? Yeah, 5 9-inch by 11-inch pieces. Oh my god. That was like $5. Why? Oh well, regardless. So for this part, you get your sandpaper. You cut yourself a little usable piece here. It's hard to do this with one hand. I'm not even like getting it in the shot. Oh my god. Alright, so hang on a second. There we go. That's better. So yeah, you just get a piece, just get a usable little hunk, little square. Shaboom. Then you take it, and I mean, I really should wait to do this later, but honestly I got nothing better. You just take it and you use it and you just sand down the sides here. Real nice, real gentle. It's important that you use 100 grit sandpaper for this because it's rough enough to sand down the jagged edges of your yeah, that's better. Sand down the more jagged edges of the frets and everything, but it's just soft enough to where it won't sand off too much. And you just have to be gentle with it. You just gotta treat it gentle. Yeah, that's a lot better. Then we're just gonna sand down the bottom here. Still not quite right. You can see, I don't know, can you see that? We got some of the lacquer off, but we're trying to get most of it. Not all of it, but most of it. So maybe treat it a little more rough. Giggity. Let's see. We're getting, there's some spots where it's pretty good. Yeah. I think that's good. That should be just about right. So, alright, so yeah, next step is to wait until those other pieces are done, and then put those in actually. Yeah, hang on a second. So, as you can see here, when I'm not blocking out the light, as you can see, I have now attached the different pieces of aluminum from the cavity to the body in all three different places. And the tutorial said that one contact point was enough, which normally would be the case, but like I've said before a million times, this guitar does not have an open body. It has different separate cavities, so I have to put one ground connect up to the top of the guitar for each separate one, which is a pain in the ass. But that is also a thing I've said a million times, that this is a pain in the ass, but hopefully it's a pain in the ass that's worth it. Now, one thing that I didn't mention is the fact that if you look under here, oh my god, ugh. If you look under here, you can see, you see that little silvery wire, the one that's not covered in rubber? That is a ground connection for each of the bottoms of these pots. This is the volume pot, that's the tone pot. And normally, yeah, those two wires lead to a connection right there, which is normally enough. It's the whole reason why you're able to operate a guitar quietly at all. When the tone is turned off, but when you turn the tone up, it's a whole other can of worms. But the tutorial that I watched said that I had to, and this would normally be the case if you were building the guitar from the ground up, but I can't do that, at least not with this one. But normally you would have to you would have to ground the pots to your shielding, which I'm hoping that connecting them to the ground connect is enough to do that. But it might not be, and there's a chance that all of this work might just be for nothing, and this might do nothing at all. But honestly, if that's the case, I won't be too upset about it, because at least I will still be able to play my guitar, and nothing will have changed, except for the new smoothness of the neck and everything. But just thought that was worth mentioning, in case you see later on in this video that nothing has happened, and that this was all a failure. You'll have seen it coming. This thing's on earth, gonna shit about the blues. I don't know, what do you guys think? Does it look straight? I think maybe this side's a little too high. Yeah, that's good. Oh my god. It took forever. But I finally think I finished. If you can see in there, I have also coated the sides of the cavity in aluminum foil. Did the same thing to this one, and of course, Same thing to this one. Now, hopefully, I really, really hope that I did this right because I don't want to do it again. But the thing that worries me most about this is not that I did the wiring or whatever wrong. It's the fact that this spray adhesive that I used on the foil, it's sticky, yes, as you can see, but it only gets sticky when you add pressure to it. It's really strange. It's not like glue in the typical sense, so I don't know. I mean, I hope it's going to hold. It feels like it's going to hold, but I don't know. I mean, I don't intend on throwing this guitar around very much, but we shall see. Alright, she lives! I have finished putting it back together. Yay! But this is not the important part. The important part is the sound test. See if all my efforts actually paid off. That took me 3 freaking hours. So, oh my god. It actually friggin' worked. This is, oh jeez. Okay, so, alright, so here's the thing. I don't know if you can normally hear it, or if you can hear it now through the camera or whatever, but this knob right here controls the tone. Right now it's turned all the way up, and normally when I would do that, there's this obnoxious humming noise, which I can still hear. It didn't work 100%, but that was something that I knew already going into it. There's no way to cancel it out 100%, no guaranteed way. But it's a good like 75% quieter, 80% quieter. It's so much better than it was. And like, that's with the tone all the way up, and then with the tone all the way down, there's barely any hum at all. I can only very scarcely hear it, and the volume didn't suffer for it at all. I mean, that was terrible, but I'm also not watching my hands when I'm doing that. But still, no, oh my god, I'm blown away. I'm going to do this for my bass. Totally worth it. So, was this entertaining? Probably not. Was it informative? Also probably not. But, I don't know. I thought it might make a good video. So, thanks for sticking it out and watching to the end.